Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Leif Plays City Skylines. And I just want to show you something kind of cool here at the beginning of the episode. We are in first-person view mode with the first-person view mod, and that lets us get nice and close to the ground, see things kind of from an eyeball level. I just thought this looked really cool. We've got a bit of a freeway overpass here, but you come underneath and yikes, those people are moving quick. Hang on here. Let's slow this down. That looks a little ridiculous. Alright. Get back into first person view mode. There we go. Things should be moving a bit slower now. Looks like we might have some pedestrians heading our way. Oh, here comes one. Waddling his way over here. That's pretty cool. I don't know. I like this. Anyway, I started to build a little bit of a, not a technical park, but a bit of a park in a little gap between a raised bit of highway and some offices. And let's get back out of first-person view mode and see where we're at here. Let's see here. So, if you remember in the last episode, we got our University Village nice and squared away for the most part. There's a couple of goofy things that obviously need to be addressed, but I think as we clean up the rest of the city, some of the problems that we've been having in these tidied up areas will kind of dissipate. Traffic in particular, you can see we do have some pretty hot traffic zones. And this stretch of freeway is terrible. But this industrial zone up here is still a complete mess. And that is the main contributor, as you can see, to all of this southbound traffic. So when we adjust that, some of this other stuff will start to move smoother. But as you can see, this roundabout is working better than it was before. Despite the backup here, people are at least moving through. If we speed up, you can see it's not terrible. It's still not good, but it's not terrible. And part of the problem is that people are they're not coming this way to get into the city. And in fact, if we come back to our traffic map, you can see people are taking some really weird routes to get into the city because we're sort of halfway in between the two methods that we were using. So, for example, here everything gets funneled onto these little two-way roads and two-lane roads, and it's a big mess. And this roundabout is now totally pointless. It's just a left turn right now for those people. So we got a little bit of work to do. In this episode, I think what we probably want to do is start emptying. I'm going to start emptying a couple of these landfills because we're going to need to move those when we adjust this. And where I want to start is this little over road here. And yeah, what I really want to do is get the garbage to just go directly from a garbage zone into this University Village area, and then have another garbage zone up here somewhere that feeds directly into this area, and make the garbage a little bit smoother. It's not so bad now, but there were a lot of garbage trucks clogging this up. That was a big bulk of the traffic. But since I added this little loop here that goes in and out of that industrial zone, that has helped quite a bit. You can see there's several garbage trucks taking this route, and then they circle around to come back into the garbage area, which actually is really suboptimal. Well, everything about this area is pretty suboptimal. So, what should we tackle today? I think probably let's first do a review of all of our goodies. Electricity's fine, water's still okay for the moment. Garbage coverage in our new areas is really good. We are low on incinerators though, so we should add a couple of those. Coverage on our elementary schools is good. High schools is good. Universities is good. With the exception of the high school. So we have 2 high schools there. We're going to need another one in here somewhere. And actually, if we look, it's kind of interesting to see as you hover to place your school, depending on your road configuration, your schools will get more or less coverage. So it's not just about a radius that they cover, but about how your roads are laid out and how well your traffic flow works to and from your services. So I'm just looking here to see kind of what gives this area the best coverage, and probably something in those 2 blocks looks like it'll do the best. So actually, let's just take care of that right now while we're talking about it, or we will risk forgetting. We had a slightly wide block here, so I put a couple of pedestrian paths down. And 2 of them side by side is probably excessive. I could probably take one of those out and add some trees, might be nice. But let's see, and we've got a bit of a pedestrian thoroughfare going down this block. We have a bit of an overpass. And actually, we probably should keep this overpass. Okay, so I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Let's do one thing at a time. Let's fix this first. So we're going to bring this across. And then, let's see, we'll just bring this down immediately, so it can come like that. Okay, now we can walk right over both of those busy roads, which will help. Hopefully our pedestrians will like that. Don't see anybody using it yet, but it doesn't really go anywhere that we care about yet either. So, all right, now on to the school. So. We could put our high school next to the pedestrian zone. We could put it on the 2-lane road or the big 6-lane road. And our coverage doesn't seem to change much either way. So I think I'm going to put it on the higher capacity road just in case. I don't actually know how much traffic this thing produces, so. And actually, while we're over here, because we're still in this wide block, why don't we add the pedestrian zone in? Maybe I'll start it there, right down there, and let's throw in a couple of nice trees. It's kind of a shame you can't see the grid map while you're placing trees, because I kind of want to know where stuff is and isn't zonable, but that's probably pretty good. Okay, so let's finish zoning off a bit of this then. So I think we don't have a lot of demand for residential yet. You can see that we have a bunch of residential that's not built up yet, but I think these areas I do want to be residential ultimately, and we've got a lot of office zones back here, and we're in need of commercial, so I think actually this section by the highway will be a bit of commercial zone, and that's a little weird. I'm actually going to just de-zone this for the moment. Oops. We'll figure out what to do with that later. These little corners where the grids are funky are sometimes a nice way to, a nice place to fit in some of the services, so you don't lose nice zonable tiles. Alright, and I think temporarily anyway, what we should do is hook this up to the roundabout, these 2 highways. Now I'm going to rebuild this roundabout to be a highway roundabout, probably raised to intersect maybe a 3-way going east-west across here and then south, and then leave the north side kind of as it is with this avenue coming through. Let's see how that works. I don't want to get too, I mean, we've moved away from the grid a little bit. You know, these are still straight lines, but they're more interesting Actually, if we turn on the traffic, you can see a little bit better. I find them a little bit more interesting, the way things are subdivided and whatnot. And we get some weird little things like that bit of park area right behind, yeah, right down in here, right behind the office building. So you end up with weird stuff like that, which is kind of fun. So let's see here. Let's let this run so we can actually see what's going on. Let's I'm just trying to get this to connect smoothly. Probably want this tool maybe come in like that, and then we'll bring this. Actually, let's just bring this up like, let's see if we can get a straight section. Let's just back this up a bit. This isn't permanent, so I'm not really too worried about what it's going to look like. Just throwing some stuff down to get it connected at least. And probably one last thing to connect up here. Actually, those are great because there's no intersections, but if we pull this guy, what is this? It's a 2A 4-lane? And that maybe should be 2A 8-lane, but let's cut that back. If I connect that in like that, we end up with... no, we don't end up with a stop lane. Okay, so that's alright. Okay, so we've connected that up again. That should begin to be a little bit more useful. I'm not sure if it's really going to make much of a difference as far as our traffic flow goes. This highway over here is we're probably going to need to divert and continue off that direction. Alright, we're having some major issues. It looks like a lot of our issues are garbage and dead body related. And the garbage issues, I'm trying to empty out these landfills. That is definitely having a big negative impact. So we might as well just build a couple more incinerators while we're thinking about it. Get our capacity in that regard back up. Alright, our next task is this lakefront area. I think what I'm going to do is use this roundabout just to get me into this neighborhood. So we've got our outflow this direction from the neighborhood and inflow this direction, and we can come up and around. I think here then we just want to drop down and turn into some kind of avenue. So I'm just going to drop this as tightly as we can, about like there, and actually demolish the rest of this here. And now we can choose a nice avenue. Probably we only need a one-way here, so I guess we can just pick our nice big one-way. And we probably want to connect. Where do we want to connect? We could do something like, I think that's kind of dangerous. That could be a, yeah, that could be kind of tricky. Okay, so I'm gonna do that like that, and then, all right, I'm gonna demolish these little bit of through streets for a moment. Let's pause, just so the services don't get too screwed up as we do this. So I've got one street coming through already there. Now if I bring, here we are. Actually, looks like we gotta move, oops, gotta move this guy. And we have really nice, nice spots for wind turbines, actually, along the shoreline. But people don't like living next to them, I believe. I didn't, oh, is it noise pollution? No, it's citizens are sick. Yeah, noise pollution. So I think that thing actually produces noise pollution. Yes, it does. So we gotta look out for that. We don't really want those long term in our residential neighborhoods. All right, so let's continue to bring this through then. And let's bring it straight as long as we can. So this is just flowing into our city now, or into our area. So, which means I probably want to just connect this up like that. But I'm going to want to kind of do a nice curve if I can. So, using roads as guidelines can get really rather complicated rather quickly. What I want to do is dump onto that. I want to go from this one way to that one way. That is what I'm trying to accomplish here. And I want to kind of do it in a nice and smooth way, but that's probably as good as we're going to get it. Okay, so this bit of neighborhood is really getting squished now. This game is quite fun because every little thing that you change means you've got to rethink everything else to some extent, which I find enjoyable. It's the complexity makes it and keeps it interesting. So, okay, I think this is coming together now. So now we'll take this intersection. Let's get our straight road. We'll bring this, just bring that across for the moment. And this is a one-way coming back in this direction and out. Okay, so this one-way goes, I can go left or I can go straight. Okay, this is looking okay. So now we just got to connect to the shoreline drive here. And in fact, maybe this right here is as much of a shoreline connection as we want, because this is very low density. There's not a whole lot going on down there. There's no services down there, so I don't think we have to worry about a huge connection. So the last thing that we might want to do here is switch this segment to highway, even that segment. Get the noise barriers, but then we also preserve some of this zoning here, which helps a little bit. And we have zonable tiles here, but we can only get to them. So for example, if I threw down well, let's see, does this give, no, I'm just looking for something that's going to show me, well, there you get a little bit of a hint as to how the roads connect when you go to put a service down on a road. So you can see this one actually does connect fairly well. We get kind of a loop around that upper left or upper right highway. So I just want to make sure that if we zone this, we're not kind of stranding it with nowhere to go. But it looks like it's going to be okay. And actually, let's dezone this little edge here. Okay, excellent. And then we're going to replace, actually, we're going to move this thing. Move this road, or not this road, this park. And we're just going to plop it down somewhere else for the moment. And yeah, boohoo, I know all of the people are very sad about it. But we're going to now come in here and connect this up. Maybe right about, oh, if I turn off snapping, I'll get it a little bit better. No, I might have to go the other direction, so let's go up from here. Yeah, if we curve that way and then back around, that looks pretty good. The zoning's a little screwy, but that's okay. And then let's just rezone a little bit of this with our low density residential. And actually a lot of this needs to be rezoned and fixed, so we will do that when this area is a little more more tidied up. As you can see, there's lots of little missing bits and pieces here and there. So, okay, cool. Well, I think that's all we have time for this episode, but we made some good progress, I think. Got a lot more roads cleaned up. We've really started to put a dent in our traffic. I know it doesn't really look like it yet, but we're laying the infrastructure for things to get a whole lot better. So anyway, if you I hope that you did enjoy this episode. If you did, you can always leave a like, and that would be greatly appreciated. And if you haven't already, you can subscribe to my channel and keep up with everything else that I do. And as always, I love to see comments. Anybody who has any ideas, any suggestions, any hints or tips, especially for this game that I am not aware of, or things that you see me doing that are unnecessary or weird or could be improved on, I would love to hear about it. So leave me a comment there. And let's just find something fun to look at while we end our episode. Let's see. Oh, we got some pedestrians here. Let's get into our first-person view mode. Oh, there's somebody walking there. Got anybody coming up on this side? Let's take a peek over. Oh, yep, there we go. Somebody's using it. Going who knows where, but there you have it. All right, well, everybody have a great day, and I will see you next time.